several months before the exhibition actually arrives at Crystal Bridges, there's an entire team of people who work on how the exhibition is actually going to look when it's here. There's a way in which it's really the arrangement of the space and how one really builds and designs and colors the space in which the guest is in that I think really augments and sort of reinforces the story that the works of art tell. So one of the things that I tend to do with exhibitions and working with our team is try to come up with something that's relatively period appropriate to give you a feeling of going sort of back in time and having that sense that you've left sort of 21st century Bentonville and you've literally sort of stepped back into about 1870. Each thematic section is introduced by quotes from novels and other kinds of writing of the day, speaking about girls. So we have these voices from the 19th century in the exhibition. I wanted to stay away from going with specifically kind of feminine colors, but I also felt like I needed to use feminine colors to a certain degree, or I wanted to be evocative of colors that would remind people of girlhood. So what I ended up doing was crowdsourcing. I ended up going to many of my colleagues, my female colleagues on staff, and asking them what their favorite colors were when they were the age of some of the girls in this exhibition. So I had a kind of palette that was set in a way. And then there's a painting called Dressing for the Rehearsal by Seymour Guy that's in the exhibition that is a young girl who is getting dressed up for a ballet performance. And I had ballet slippers in my office. And so one of the things that I did was I actually took that slipper and I went to one of my decks and tried to match, but unless you see them with works of art, you don't know how they're going to work. So we actually had a number of different large boards painted, some of the colors that we were thinking about using, and we took all of those boards into one of the permanent collection galleries where we have late 19th century work on display all the time by some of the same artists. And we put these boards against, behind some of the paintings to kind of see how some of these colors would work. But at a certain point, it's a big leap of faith when going from a 2x2 piece of plywood to a 20-foot long by 10-foot high wall, particularly when you're working with sort of high stakes, as a big exhibition is, where you're really trying to produce the maximum kind of educational and sort of entertainment. This was a real team effort, and it's been that's one of the things that's great about exhibitions is sort of listening to different people's ideas and hearing different voices about work that we all kind of get really invested in after we work on bringing the exhibition here for 6 months, and then are all involved in reconfiguring spaces that we sort of know and love.